They gonna send a SWAT team after me. So we got the pod back, both the stars live in action. Yeah, I mean, this thing is on. Damn it. We're live, by the way.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Getting popped in on in the show.
Send it to the league.
We'll edit that out.
What?
I'm getting popped in. Wished good luck in the middle of the show. Like I'm not
nice.
a professional here.
You are a professional.
You know what I'm saying?
Send the link to our league so I can
I'm doing it.
get it.
Let me send this to
This game tonight is such shit.
Yeah. Who's the quarterback playing tonight?
Easton Stick.
Yep. And why can't I find our league? Niggas have not been talking in there, huh? Gotcha. Take it to the. Oh yeah, I forgot it's gonna be posted the whole time. Cause I'm like, oh, no one's gonna hear this, but people can rewatch this.
All right, you ready?
All the views we get. We're big in our screen, though, so fuck it. I'm ready when you are.
All right, let's do it. Week 15, baby. We're back. We took a week off. Week 15 NFL 2023. We're almost done with this year. It's crazy. Nick, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. The weather's been cooling down. It's been lovely. Christmas,
it has been
in the spirit. Hanukkah.
We're less than 2 weeks from Christmas. It's the last night of Hanukkah. I mean, it's that time of the year. It's snuck up on us, but we are here. We apologize. We were not here last week. I'll take the blame. Nick was ready. I was under the weather. Long story short, we're here. How'd you do on your video picks? How did you do? So Nick, just for people who didn't see the Instagram, Nick released a video, gave out our picks for the week. Nick, how'd you do?
Clean sweep, baby.
Oh, you did?
2-0, yeah.
What did you take? I forgot.
Bills Bucks teaser and then Cowboys team total over 27.5.
Beautiful. I think I was 1-1. My Ravens Bills teaser hit, and then I missed the Ravens by a half a point because they don't kick the extra point in overtime. But either way, 3-1 combined. It was a glorious week. Everything about the week was fine until there was about 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the Dolphins game Monday night. We're up 14 points. No team had ever blown a 14-point lead in 3 minutes. And we did to Will Levis, and it was an absolute embarrassment. And the Dolphins got to bounce back. You know, I'm going to say something right now. I need to make a PSA because Dolphins fans, Twitter Dolphins fans, are insufferable. They are absolutely awful. It just they're terrible. All they do is complain. All they do is compare our team to other teams. All they do is like bitch and moan about our players and our season. These are not real fans, okay? Just want everyone to know that. I want Tyreek Hill to know that. I want everyone who listens to this podcast, the entire universe, to know that, okay? Because these are fake fans. Real fans who've suffered for 20, 30 years know that we are happy with this team and we believe in this team, all right? So all these people on Twitter who are fucking bullshitters, fuck you, okay? Fuck you. You're fake Dolphins fans. And I see Prop God is backstage. We were thinking we were not going to get him tonight. This is a treat. Bring him on for a minute.
Let's go. Are we live right now?
Yeah, we're live, baby.
Intro of the pod.
Dude, it's been 3 weeks. We had Thanksgiving, we missed it last week, and I was dying to get back on here. And I'm going to do a little tease, okay? Because I have got one of
Wait for it. Don't drop it
the
yet, though.
best props all year for tonight.
Beautiful.
But folks, you're gonna have to hang in there for another half hour, see what Nick and Bean have to say, and we'll get back to the prop god.
When you
Beautiful.
said tease, I thought you meant
A teaser.
whatchamacallit.
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah.
He meant he's teasing the prop. He is the prop god. He's not the teaser god. He's the prop god. So
since we haven't run it with multiple screens in a while, I'm going to hit remove on his screen. I don't know if that's going to boot him entirely or if it's just going to put him backstage. So fingers crossed this works. All right, we're
beautiful. Perfect. All right, Dolphins choked. We're moving on. Impact players from last week. Let's start with Justin Fields. He is playing for his job, maybe. I think he'll be a starter somewhere, even if the Bears move on. But they killed the Lions, who are kind of faltering. But credit to Fields and the Bears. He threw for 223 yards and a score. He also rushed for another 58 and a score. And let me ask you, Nick, if you're the Bears right now and Fields continues to play well, it doesn't matter if they win or lose the games, but he plays well. What are you doing next year with the number 1 overall pick? Are you moving on from him? Are you keeping him? I mean, there's the money's in play. There's so many factors going into it. What are your thoughts?
I'm probably I'm not a big Fields believer. I think he's talented, but I don't see him as well. Here's what I'll also say though: they haven't really done right by him by putting receivers in that. Well, they got him DJ Moore recently, but
Pretty
before that, they did solid by there. Which they actually, what word should I use? They wrecked the Panthers in that trade. By the way, looking back on it, hindsight.
Oh yeah, I mean, so far it looks like it. Yeah,
the team they played are horrible. The Lions are horrible against running quarterbacks. So I'd be interested to look at the numbers, and I might be able to put it out to you later when the prop god comes on. I can pull it up. But yeah, I would move on. To answer your question, I would move on from Fields. But is the guy ultra talented? I believe so, yeah. But I don't think he's ever going to be a top 10 quarterback. But how many of those come around? So it's a mixed bag on my feelings on that one.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Just with the contracts, I probably move on from him, but I do think he's a really solid quarterback. I think he's a top 12 guy if he can stay healthy and stay consistent. But you can't pass up on – I think you just got to take Caleb Williams and roll the dice and draft an offensive lineman or another receiver with the 5th or 6th pick or whatever they have and reset that clock on the contract for the quarterback. So it's not really against Fields. It's just, I think they, and I probably would get a new head coach too, but that's besides the point. So I like Fields. He had a great week. I expect him to play well throughout the rest of the year. They do have a tough matchup this week, but I think it's more of an indictment on the team as a whole, where you kind of just got to roll Caleb Williams and see if he's that next level quarterback. Everyone's comparing him to Mahomes. That might be an overreaction, but he does do some Mahomes-like things. So I would go the Caleb Williams route and maybe get a second rounder or a couple picks for Fields. Next guy on the list. I'm going to preface this with this guy I still do not believe in. He is the second favorite for the MVP. He threw for 370 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he is leading the best team in the NFL right now, and that's Brock Purdy. Okay. Now, give me your thoughts on Brock Purdy while I look up something that I have prepared for the show. Go ahead.
Well, so his performance last week was 368 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, passer rating of 122.1. So, I mean, he's not an amazing quarterback, but he's the quarterback on the best team in the league. So that's how he's in that MVP conversation automatically. He's not someone that wows me, but I guess like I'm saying, I think Fields could be doing Purdy's job, honestly.
Oh, Fields would be doing great. In
you know what I'm
Purdy's role.
saying?
All right, here we go. I got it here. Come on. Pulling up Twitter. I've got something bookmarked.
But I don't have strong feelings on Purdy. I know you've had some strong feelings on this show in the past on Brock Purdy. I think Prop God even has strong feelings on Purdy.
Oh yeah, Prop God loves him. So the most insane Brock Purdy stat. If you take out all his throws beyond the line of scrimmage, so you just took his throws behind the line of scrimmage, he still leads the NFL in EPA per drop back. So basically,
He's
he
got
is
monsters out
surrounded
there.
by the best at the weapons in the NFL.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold could do what he's doing. If you could take half the quarterbacks in the league and they would be better at what Brock Purdy's doing. He is not the MVP. He is not the most important player on his team. He's not the second most. He's not the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th most important player on that team. He's not that good.
He gets the ball on every play. That
He
automatically makes him pretty important. That automatically makes him pretty important.
He just dumps the ball off and makes one good
guy.
throw a game. All right. So he's averaging 8.8 yards a temp and 0.38 EPA on throws of 0 air yards or less. So when he throws the ball behind the line of scrimmage, he still gets 9 yards per attempt. It's an absolutely ridiculous stat. And when you have Debo and you have Kittle and McCaffrey and Ayuk's a top 20, top 15 receiver, it's just not fair. And they have the best offensive line in the league. So either way, we'll give Purdy, I'm putting him on here to give him some respect, but I'm also going to shit on him at the same time. Last impact player.
Did you forget to read our sponsors? We'll cut to that later.
Yeah, you know, we missed the sponsors. We took a couple weeks off. They're not happy with us. Okay, so
they're like, "What are you guys getting back on the air?"
I talked to the CEO of Diet Smoke, and you know their sales dipped about 18% in the weeks that we were off. So you know they're upset. Diet Smoke's great. We love them. We'll get back to the ad read next week. We're going full pure football this week. The last impact player is an entire football team. All right, it's the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. It's Dak Prescott, who's going to win the MVP probably, not Brock Purdy. And it's the Dallas Cowboys. But I don't even want to talk about how good they've been playing because they've been playing perfect football since getting stomped by the Niners. They look like the best offense in the league besides the Niners. They look great. But I just can't believe – I don't believe in them. That's what I want to say. I can't believe we're doing this again this year and people are falling for it because every year in the playoffs, they choke. They realize they're the Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCarthy looks like a fat slob on the sideline. Dak Prescott turns back into that mediocre quarterback, and they always lose in the playoffs. So, Nick, do you believe in them this year? I mean, everyone seems to be back on the bandwagon.
Not a believer, but yards per point.
Yards per point, they're the greatest team in the history of the NFL.
I haven't checked. Last week they were. This week I haven't checked, but they probably still are. What I would say is you had to put their team as the player because if you look on like the ESPN like standout players, they don't have a top 5 guy at any position for last week's performance.
Okay, well, whatever that means.
I don't know. That means they whack.
We got Cowboys fans in the chat. So either way, what I'm saying
not
is
a Cowboys.
No, okay. Yeah. I just see a cowboy emoji. But either way, they've been playing basically perfect. They stomped the Eagles out. The Eagles are falling. And, you know, it's just for me, someone who's been on that bandwagon last year and the year before, I don't think I'll ever believe in them until maybe they get to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl. But I cannot be sold right now with the regular season, no matter what they do.
They're a good team. But yeah, I put them in a similar category of the Dolphins, but except they've done it more recently and a lot better.
Yeah, I agree with that. They're pretty similar. All right. That's a bow on week 14. Let's get into week 15. We've got 5 awesome marquee matchups, and we're going to start in Detroit. The Denver Broncos, the surging Denver Broncos, are traveling to the Lions. The Lions are laying 4.5. The over-under is 47.5. Nick, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think Detroit is a much better team than the Denver Broncos. The Broncos have been surging lately, but they're still 32nd in the league in points per game.
Really?
Playing against
What, their defense or their offense?
With this is offense. Not their defensive stat. So like their offensive scoring stat, not their defensive holding people stat.
Got it. So they're the worst scoring team in the league, you're
Yeah,
telling me.
they cannot. Yeah, they can't fucking score the rock. They've been better in recent weeks, but still, I don't think it's enough against this well-rounded Lions offense. And I think the Lions have a good day on the ground. Who you got going?
Didn't you just tell me the Lions defense is trash?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you did say that
I
when we
said
talked
the
about Justin
Broncos-
Fields.
No, against running quarterbacks.
Against
Russ
running
isn't a
quarterbacks. All right.
Yeah, Russ isn't a
So
running quarterback.
the Lions, to me, are a team who was peaking 3 or 4 weeks ago. That Ravens game really set them back when they got really stomped out. They've looked pretty shaky. I think it was, so they lost last week to the Bears, obviously. 2 weeks ago, they looked like they had righted the ship. They were killing New Orleans and almost let them back in the game and almost lost that game. So the Lions, to me, are at kind of a crossing point. They need to either man up, Dan Campbell it, and start playing great, or they're going to fall below the wayside and do the opposite of what they did last year, which was surge towards the playoffs, even though they didn't make it. So to me, I think this is a perfect matchup for them.
The Broncos?
No, the Lions.
No,
I think
no,
it's
I
a
know,
perfect
but-
matchup for the Lions.
Okay.
The Broncos have been playing good. I don't care about the Broncos, really. I mean, honestly, like Sean Payton, good for you. Russell Wilson's, I mean, he's doing decent. The defense has been playing better. Like, they're fine. But this is about the Lions more to me. If they're going to be a contender in the NFC, they got to make a statement this week. I think if I'm leaning one way, I think this is a good matchup for them. I think they can throw the ball on the Broncos. I think the defense is a good get-right week, get pressure on Russell Wilson, disrupt him. The over-under, it's a big over-under, 47.5. Pretty big number. Not the biggest on the week, but one of them. I would lean probably Lions on this one. And I don't know if they get to that 47.5, but I could see like a 28-17 or a 28-21 game, which puts it right close to that. But I'll lean Lions on this one. Next game.
I'd be interested to see the running back props on Sunday for the Detroit Lions. I think they're going to have a decent day. We'll see what they release.
Yeah, Montgomery, Gibbs, pretty nice duo they are. All right, division leading, division leading, whatever you want to say. Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers are laying 3.5. The over-under is 42. Give me your thoughts on this game, Nick.
Yeah, so we've got banged up Baker Mayfield. I think that's going to give them some issues. The defense is banged up. They got Vita Vea out. They've got like several pieces out. I think it's a bad week for the Buccaneers this week. Not enough for me to bet the other side. But yeah, I do think the Packers. No, actually, I might have lied. But I do think it's a bad week to be a Buccaneers fan.
Hey, I mean, that division is such dog shit. You've got the Falcons, you've got the Saints, and you got the Bucks. I think they're all a game under 500, tied for the lead in the division. And then you got the Panthers, the worst team in the league. So this is a tough one, though. Packers were riding that high of highs. Monday night, they lose to the Giants, of course. Tommy DeVito's whole family's eating chicken cutlets and veal parm and fucking celebrating, kissing each other in the stands. And everyone's like, oh, Jordan Love's back. They lose that game. So now they're kind of knocked back down. If the Bucks were healthy, I'd probably take the 3.5. It's tough right now. Baker, whatever, he might be banged up. That defense is really banged up. I think
that's
Jamel
the only
Dean
thing that was really good about their team. Baker thankfully has a lot of weapons, but
yeah, he does have good weapons. Jamel Dean's hurt. Villa has been out. Like they just have a tough it's a tough going. So I would lean probably under in that game. It's 42. I'd probably lean the under. And I think the Packers need it. I mean, the Packers are making a push for that division with the Lions choking. So that's Bucks at Packers. 3 best games on the schedule. Dallas Cowboys, we just talked about them, traveling to Buffalo. Buffalo's playing for their life pretty much every week, coming off a win in Kansas City. The Bills are -2. The over-under is 50.5. That's a huge number.
Yeah. I would lean under. Not sure that I'm going to bet it. I do think the Bills have this game, though. I think the Bills are like kind of trending up. They were shitty like 6 weeks ago, maybe. The Bills were like one of the worst teams in the league, but they got some people back healthy. Josh Allen's got some confidence back. They got rid of the OC. I don't think the OC would it was the OC.
Yeah, it was the OC. Yeah.
I don't think he was the problem, but like sometimes shaking things up can kind of get like people like, oh shit, I'm losing people's jobs. I'm affecting like, you know what I mean? Get people to wake up a little bit.
Well, this is a classic. Like the Cowboys have never been higher, right? Everyone, they're in prime time. They beat the Eagles. Everyone's loving the Cowboys, like we just talked about. And the Bills are favorites still. The Bills are a 500 team who basically, I don't know if they have to win out, but they got to win most of their games to make the playoffs. And Vegas may be telling you who's winning this game. And if Buffalo hadn't burned me so many times, I'd be betting the Bills. So I do lean that side. But I think Vegas is telling you that the Bills win a close game. Josh Allen looks great. They should have beat the Eagles 2 weeks ago. They beat the Chiefs last week. And oh God, I'm so happy I just thought of this. What a whiny baby Patrick Mahomes is.
Yes.
Was that the most embarrassing thing you've ever seen in your life? This guy gets the calls every single game. He says, oh, I don't want the game to be decided by a call. Well, the Super Bowl was decided by a holding call that you won on. Every game he gets the calls. This is the first time he didn't, okay? And he cried and complained and bitched and moaned. Oh, it's ruining Kelsey's legacy. Dude, shut up. Let the Bills have their moment. You got to play better, okay? Which he probably will. But I think it was the first time where people are like, fuck Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? They were like, he actually is annoying me right now. Like he had been can you imagine if Tom Brady ever did that in his he never bitched and moaned. It was always on to the next game about business. So I think seeing Mahomes in this light gave us a reason to hate him, and I fucking love it.
So I think he showed us a little bit of that in that Dolphins game. That was in whatever country that was. I think he played in Germany. We saw a little bit of that. So it wasn't that big of a shocker for me. But yeah, this year, I don't know if it's like if it's getting to him, like where he's just been a little comfortable being like the face of the league or what it is.
Yeah, but your guy lined up off sides. He basically said in the press conference that even though it was offsides, they shouldn't have called it against them, which makes absolutely no sense. It was an absurd comment. He kind of walked it back since then, but it was just annoying. Let the Bills have their moment. Let Josh Allen have his moment. You know, he's won 2 Super Bowls already. Like, you just don't bitch and moan like that. Rant over. Lean the Bills in this game. Lean the under, I think you said,
so
the 50 and a half.
At 4. So I was looking for this for a minute while you were talking there, and I was trying to answer. I was like clicking through every tab that I have open. So it opened at -4, and it's down to -2. So let me see if I can share this screen. Am I sharing the right screen or the wrong screen? What's on the
Who knows,
board?
Nick? Just let me see. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sharing the right screen. All right, so this is the game here. This shout out to foxsheets.statfoxsports.com. You can see like the movement on the game through the week. We can see some of the games that we looked earlier if we want. Tampa Bay remained flat at 3.5. The total moved down, if anything. So So they agree with you on that one. I think you said you leaned under,
Nick's
right?
porn just popped up on the screen for people who aren't watching, for people listening.
These stats are porn. These stats are porn, exactly.
So what's the line movement? Give me it. I can't even see.
It's this one. It moved from -4 to -2, and the total is ticked up 1 point. The other one, Tampa Bay versus Green Bay, the total is ticked down. The line has remained constant.
Got it. So money's coming in on the Cowboys, you're telling me?
Yes. No.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And great job. 2 great primetime games here. Baltimore Ravens, -3 at Jacksonville. Over-unders 42.5. This is a good game. And what's the deal with high ankle sprains? I thought they keep people out like 4 to 6 weeks, and now they just come back in a week. Are they just juicing them up, or is it like a high ankle sprain? And it's just like it's not really a high ankle. It's just a little bit of a sprain. You know, Trevor Lawrence played
with
5 days after.
Oh, they got him on that good dope.
Okay. All right. It was like Mahomes last year in the playoffs where they duped us all and everyone was like, oh, he can barely walk, and he got to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. So this game, I'll tell you the truth, it's not one of my pod picks. I think the Ravens could stomp this team. I think they could stomp them. -3. It feels like it's a weird line. I feel like it should be 3.5 or 4. But I'm leaning Ravens. Defense looking solid. They had a bad game last week, but guess what? Sometimes when Puka and Cooper Kupp get going, it's just one of those games where Stafford's slinging it around. I'll give them a pass on that game. So I'm leaning Ravens on this, though. What do you got?
Yeah, I might actually bet the Ravens, but I think the Ravens are going to destroy them. They're having a good day on the ground. Mitchell, Edwards, Lamar.
Yeah, I agree. And we got EJ from the farm, not joining us this week, but he's saying Tordell helps them not feel the pain, which is true. Yeah, they're juicing him up. But still, and it wasn't like he was like just standing in the pocket last week. He was getting beat up by the Browns. He had 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. So, I think the Jags are going to come out, but I just think this is a Ravens game. Monday night.
The Ravens have just been like gaining momentum as the season went on.
Yep. No, they know they've got their eyes set on that 1 seed with the Dolphins losing. They know they control their destiny to get that 1 seed. We play them in a couple weeks, which will be a big game, but they know that if they take care of business, they're going to get that 1 seed, which is huge. All right.
Freaking
Last game Monday night, which is going to be it was going to be a bet of mine, but 90% of the money is on the Eagles right now. They are -3.5 going to Seattle. Over under is 47.5. I think Geno will be back for this game. I think the Eagles need to get right this week. Their defense has looked horrible. We know it's better than it's looked. Their offense has been a little bit shaky. A.J. Brown needs to get back in the end zone. I think the Eagles are going to crush the Seahawks, but I'm not betting it because 90% of the money scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, they pushed it from 2 past the 3 out to 3.5.
Everyone's on them.
So yeah, that's heavy movement towards Philly, and I think I agree with them. Like I think they're of the right opinion, but because of that, I can't bet it. I don't have an angle to bet on it.
Yeah, I think if the money starts evening out throughout the week, I think I'll probably hop on the Eagles. I do think they win this game pretty handily. I think this is a good get-right game for that defensive line, get some sacks. I'm not saying this because I need them in all my fantasy playoffs next week when they play the Giants at home. So it's really kind of swaying me. I need this defense to look good this week because I have them in every fantasy league I have, and I've been stashing them for next week. Giants at home, and then Arizona at home. That's how they finish 16 and 17. And all my leagues pretty much I have a bye. So I need the Eagles defense to come out and look like the Eagles defense of 6 weeks ago.
Nice.
Great primetime games though. Ravens at Jags, Eagles at Seahawks, making up for tonight, which is an absolute travesty of Easton Stick and Aiden O'Connell playing against each other, which sounds like a Blue Mountain State football game.
Some shit you'd watch on Netflix, but don't forget, folks, also there's Saturday games this week.
There are Saturday games. Good call. Great call. And I think we actually went over a couple of them because Broncos at Lions, I know, is Saturday night. All right, bring him in. Yeah. 3 weeks in waiting.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
We've waited. It feels like a lifetime for the prop god to be back. He's got a gorgeous Miami Heat hat on. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling great. I am feeling ready to give out some props. And
I am feeling ready that you told us earlier you've got your prop of the year, right? Is this your prop of the year?
I think yes, I think it is.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. Well, how are you? I mean, we miss you.
Like that.
I'm doing great. I feel like it's been tough for me not being on the podcast because when the prop god is giving out props and picks, they're winners and they hit. But guess what? The last few weeks, I haven't been able to give out these picks. And I feel like, the betting and the sports book has suffered because of it. So
agreed.
I'm ready to get back into the swing of things and try to improve on the 17-8 overall record on the year.
God, that sounds incredible.
The book's been doing great because you have been giving out picks. Now it's time to hit the books. Now it's time for the books to lose.
Absolutely. When I hopped on, Nick was talking about Saturday games, and that it was that's a perfect segue into my first prop. So first prop of the weekend, not Sunday, the weekend is going to be Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Okay.
Love it. Love it.
This on the Hard Rock app right now, this is minus 110. This is like a crazy number for an over 1.5 passing touchdowns prop. But we've taken this a couple times this year. We have not lost on this. And let me tell you why.
I just bet it because I know when this comes out, the line is going to go to minus 140. That's a guarantee. Bet it now, people.
Yep, 100%. And what do we know about Jared Goff, as we've talked about in the past, is that Jared Goff is two different quarterbacks. When he plays at home, he's a superstar. Everything goes his way. And when he plays on the road, he struggles, and he struggles bad. So I went back and I looked at his last 16 home games, okay?
Oh, my God.
He's hit this prop 13 of 16 times at home. He's thrown for at least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Okay. On the road, he's hit this prop 4 of his last 19 road games.
Oh, my God. So, and this isn't even the prop of the year?
No, I love this one. I will give out, both sides hesitation. The Broncos D has been playing well.
They have.
I think they figured some things out. They had Mahomes on the Manning cast a few weeks ago, and he was talking about how they've been spying quarterbacks, and it was messing with him. And I wonder if it's been messing with some other quarterbacks as well. So
yeah, I did hear that. Good point. Well, at least you're seeing both sides. I think the positives clearly outweigh the negatives, but obviously there's there's always two sides to the story.
Yeah. And one more stat is he's hit this 4 of his last 5 total games, road or home. He's hit this 4 of his last 5 games. So I just don't understand how this is, it's basically a pick 'em, taking away the Vegas juice. So, the first prop god pick, Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns. That is the Lions are hosting the Denver Broncos on Saturday.
Beautiful. What else you got for us?
Yeah. Second prop. This is another one. I know Bean is gonna love this one as well. Okay, because of one word that we both light up when we hear. Okay,
I think about it every night before I go to bed. I think about it every single night.
Revenge. Yeah, it's not Aubrey. If that's what you were thinking.
I was thinking both.
Revenge. Okay. And who is due to get some revenge this weekend? Let me tell you. DeAndre Hopkins is playing back in Houston for the first time since they traded him out for peanuts, since Bill O'Brien shipped him out for nothing. Okay? So let me give you a couple DeAndre Hopkins stats. Since Will Levis took over, DeAndre Hopkins is
Will Levis. Sorry.
Yeah, he is the number 6 fantasy football receiver. Okay. He is averaging 75 yards a game since Levis took over. So his receiving yards prop this week, which is going to be prop number 2, is DeAndre Nuke Hopkins over 57.5 yards receiving.
Yeah, you got to take that. Take that. Shout out to DeAndre Hopkins, really good guy. Commented on one of my Instagram photos about 5 years ago now. Great guy.
Nuke.
what's
We
up.
love him. So that is prop number 2.
Will go to that's 57.5. I just bet that as well. That will go over 60. That is a guarantee.
Absolutely. I just sent something in the chat for Nick to pull up. This is prop number 3 here. Okay. So in the same game,
Is this it? Is this the prop of the decade?
This is the prop of the decade right here. Okay.
Oh,
this is in the same game, which is the Tennessee Titans are traveling to Houston. Okay. Derrick Henry has absolutely dominated the Houston Texans. Okay. So Nick,
he gets 200 yards every game.
So let's look at his last 5 games here. If we look at this middle column, last game, 126 rushing yards from the bottom there. Yep. The game before that, 219 rushing yards, 250 rushing yards the game before that, 212 rushing yards, and 211 rushing yards. Okay. I don't know what they feed this guy in Houston or if he just hates their logo or something.
Just to play caveat here, it is in Tennessee, it looks like.
It doesn't matter where it is.
Which is even better.
Oh, it's in Tennessee.
Home. Yeah.
That matters to the Nuke thing, but it doesn't matter to the Henry thing.
Yes. It matters to the Nuke thing, though. Oh, man. So we're gonna go back to that one after this, okay? Because the revenge is huge. Okay, but Derrick Henry, his rushing yards total, you would think it would be 200 yards. It is Derrick Henry over 66.5 rushing yards.
This one's light. One's light.
And the King Henry gets better as the season goes on. As these defenders get more and more banged up, no one wants to tackle this guy, and he just gets better and better and better. So
I'm in. I love it.
This is the one that
I like the Nuke. I don't think that should affect the Nuke bet that much. Obviously, the dome is nice, but I mean, it's only 57.5 yards. You figure, he's getting that, I feel like.
Yeah, he throwing me on the spot here. I can't believe I messed that up.
I will say that I know you and I know your process, and if you want to take that off and just give the Jared Goff over 1.5 and the Derrick Henry prop of the year, if you'd rather do that, I understand. We can cut you down to 2 picks.
Let's take it off, and only because they play again in 2 weeks. Okay.
All right. So
we're taking Henry again in 2 weeks. We're absolutely slamming it. And we're waiting for that Nuke game then. So
I think I might slam the Henry thing 10 units. I might put 10 units on the Henry thing.
Yeah. So that's like 40 cents. So that'll be a big bet.
Yeah. So
I like that though. I like that.
To sum up, 2 props. Okay. We've done the homework for 2 weeks from now. But the 2 props are Saturday bonus game, Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And number 2, Derrick Henry over 66.5 rushing yards.
We appreciate you. We will win this week. We know that. I am excited and you got a bet on Saturday and you got a bet on Sunday. It's absolutely perfect. It's good to be back, my friend. It is very good to be back. And last thing I will add, you know why Derrick Henry's for sure getting over 66.5 yards? It's because Vidic barely missed the playoffs in his fantasy football league, and he has Derrick Henry. So he's going to go off this week. Am I right?
Yeah. This cannot be the last thing. You guys cannot kick me out on this note, okay? Let's be clear for all the listeners. I made the playoffs in every single league except my own, where I was 7, 5, and 2.
2 ties is just insane.
Which is if I had won one of those games, I would be in. But I drafted this team and Derrick Henry because he plays the Texans twice in the playoffs. I've been waiting all year to take
I know.
these Derrick Henry rushing yards props, and they're finally here. Okay.
I
So,
had to bring it up. I
yep,
had to bring it up.
Bean is the 1 seed. He's on a bye, and he is the heavy favorite to take home the
I did not want to
championship belt.
see Derrick Henry in a Houston Dome rushing for 600 yards in the fantasy finals. That's for sure.
Yep.
But all right, so Henry and Goff, we're leaving Nuke out. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week, brother.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, Nick. What they pay us the big bucks for. Start us off. Pod picks. No FanDuel today. We're ending with pod picks. Fantasy playoffs are here. They're more important than FanDuel. I ended Nick and FanDuel. It was like 11-2. So we're leaving it out. Nick, lead us off with pod picks coming off a 2-0 week.
All right. So we talked about Green Bay, Tampa Bay, talked about the defensive injuries for Tampa Bay. So with that, my first pick is Green Bay -3.5. You can get them like cheap juice. I think -105 on Hard Rock Bets. There's even some books, like if you look at your PPH, you might be able to get on +100. So first bet, Green Bay -3.5. They've been on an upswing. Love is kind of catching his groove here. I think they continue in Tampa.
Yep. Love it. All right, we talked about this guy in Impact Players. He's a great player, Justin Fields. He's been balling. He's been doing everything. He runs it. He passes it. They beat the Lions. Bears have never been higher. Give me Joe Flacco. Give me Flacco. Just signed his deal, $4 million for the year. Browns are -3. Everyone right now is on Chicago. 70% of the bets, 87% of the money. I think it's a nasty, muck it up, Cleveland type of game. Defense and running the football. I'll lay the 3 with Cleveland.
All right. My second bet of the week, we've got Steelers Colts. And I'm going to go with the over 42 points in that game. We've got.
Really? Over?
Yeah, over. We've got Minshew.
God. I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah, we've got Minshew against Mullins. Mullins. Fucking. Who's quarterbacking right now for Trubisky? Yeah,
it's not a good sign for the over, guys.
I'm actually scrapping that bet.
Is this a live scrap?
Yeah, I'm scrapping that bet.
We've never had a live scrap in our 3-year history, and it just happened with Prop God, and it's happening with you right now.
Sure
I don't think we've had a live scrap. We have live ads all the time, not scraps.
You sure we haven't had a live scrap?
Well, I don't think so. Either way. All right, so you're scrapping it. Go to the next one.
I did bet the over, though, over 42. But we're going to move on. We're going to move on to one that I'm actually betting right now, and that's a Raven team total over on points. You can get them at -135 if you take 21.5, or you get them at -120 if you take them 22.5 points. I think both those are good. They're playing against the Jaguars, and yeah, like we talked about earlier.
21.5?
21.5 you can get for -135, and 22.5 you can get -120. If you go for 23.5, you can get it +105. They give you 3 options at Hard Rock Bets.
Holy crap, that's a good bet. 21.5. They should score that easily. That seems too good to be true. I love the bet, Nick.
Yeah,
that seems great.
I'm betting that live. Scrapping the other one, betting this live.
All right, I did see it. Something about it in your notes. So, all right, so you got Green Bay and you got Ravens team total. My next bet.
Yeah,
this team has come through for me this year. They've won it. I only take them as a dog. They've won outright for me as a dog, and they've covered many times as a dog. They're not a good football team, though, Nick. They're not very good, but they're going to cover the 6.5. The Rams. Everyone is talking about the Rams this week, Nick. You hear it. Puka, Cooper Kupp,
yeah.
Matt Stafford looked great last week. I mean, they almost beat the Ravens in Baltimore. Their offense looks awesome. Their defense is, still decent. This Washington team, they love to cover as a dog. They love it. They're getting 6.5 in LA. All right. The Rams, we know, don't have a home field advantage. We also know that at the beginning of this season, people were picking them for the worst record in the league. This is not a team that was expected to do anything. I think the Commanders go in there. They'll probably lose a close one, but you're giving me almost a touchdown. I don't think the Rams should be laying that many points. So I will take the Commanders Also, side note, again, late in the season, you got to fade the public. 76% of the bets, and the number one bet money game right now is 94% on the Los Angeles Rams. That is too many people. I'm going opposite. Give me the Commanders.
It's a scary bet, but I like your reasoning. All right. My next one is an ugly game. We've got Bears versus Cleveland. And I'm taking the under 38.5 in this game.
Love that.
I don't think we have a high scoring affair in this one.
Yeah, just like I said, that's why I'm on Cleveland. I think this is a muck it up. Always windy or rainy or cold, at this time of year in Cleveland. I love that bet. Under 38.5. This smells like a 13-7, 14-10, 17-14 low scoring game. And
Exactly.
So I really like that one. All right. My last one. And this one, I thought this was a little bit of a fishy line. I thought it was too many points, so that's why I kind of went with it. I think the Saints are going to beat up the Giants. I think that defense this is going to be the game. This is the end of the time, or not the end, but this is where people are like, all right, Tommy DeVito sucks again. When he first played, everyone's like, he's terrible. He's had these few weeks of greatness. I mean, that Monday night game-winning drive, like, it's fucking Tommy DeVito. This Saints team beats up quarterbacks. Cam Jordan, Marshawn Lattimore, Demario Davis. I think they're gonna hold the Giants to maybe, I'd say 7 to 10 points at most. Give me the Saints. They're -5.5 on Hard Rock app, and those are my three: Browns, Commanders, Saints.
Yeah. So my three are gonna be Green Bay -3.5, under in the Bears Cleveland, and Ravens team total over 21.5. It's -35 juice, but you can find some options with less juice if you want.
Love it. All right. It feels good to be back, Nick. We needed that week off. We reset. I'm feeling great. Holidays are upon us. Guess what? This year, there's games every day pretty much. We always get some Saturday, some Monday. We're going to have Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. There's not going to be a time where you're going to be stuck with your family and not at least be able to put football on the TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a great time of year. Even the Dolphins, I think we play Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Yeah, I think we play the Cowboys Christmas Eve. So, guys, we will be with you. Let me see. What do we got? We'll figure out a schedule, but we will have one more episode before the holidays, and then we'll probably be back in the new year. We'll keep everyone posted on our Instagram. That's it for Nick and Bean. Peace out.
Peace out, everybody.